Welcome to Lily Talks. I hope you will find your soul pieces from this video and it will help to you to find yourself. Have you ever noticed? Sometimes the person who trips us the most is not outside, but living quietly inside us. A small, invisible voice that whispers, "Who do you think you are?" You're not ready. If you start, you'll fail. There's a proverb from my culture that says, "The one who becomes an enemy to themselves can trust no friend." For years I lived with that enemy inside me. And if I'm standing here today, it's because I walked through the darkest corridors of my own mind to get here. The silent anatomy of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is not evil. It is a misguided inner guard, a mechanism that thinks it's protecting us. Psychologist Dr. Ellen Hendrickson explains that most self-sabotage stems from a deep desire for safety. When the mind senses risk, it locks the doors with procrastination, shrinking yourself, overthinking, quitting before starting, perfectionism. But as another old saying goes, the one who runs from fear will meet their fate. Stanford's Dr. Carol Dweck famously showed that people with a growth mindset see failure as feedback, not identity. Self-sabotage does the opposite. It glues failure to your sense of self. The day I realized I was sabotaging myself. There was a day when I had everything I needed to start a project I deeply cared about. Knowledge, yes. Time, yes. Resources, yes. And still, something held me back, like an invisible thread pulling me away. I kept telling myself, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I should research more. Maybe one day. But here's the truth I finally understood. One day is often just a disguised version of never. And that day, I realized I wasn't up against a giant enemy. I was up against a voice living inside my own skin. What science says about the roots of sabotage. Harvard research shows that most people fear not failing, but failing after succeeding. Why? Because if you rise, you must maintain it. If you try, you can lose. If you stand out, you can be judged. So sabotage whispers, if you don't start, nothing breaks. If you don't try, you can't lose. If you don't rise, you can't fall. But remember, fear never prevented fate. Another study from UCLA's Matthew Lieberman found that the brain perceives social pain, criticism, rejection, embarrassment, much like physical pain. No wonder success feels dangerous. The brain treats visibility like a threat, so the self-sabotaging mind is not a monster. It's a child who learned fear too early and was never taught another way. Training the mind that works against you. My life changed when I stopped treating my mind as an enemy and started teaching it to become an ally. Here are the tools, tested by research and lived experience. 1. Recognize the voice. Ask whose voice it really is. Ask yourself, is this inner voice truly mine, or is it a leftover echo of the past? Parents, teachers, society, old wounds. Many voices become ours without permission. As the proverb says, knowing your enemy wins half the battle. Sometimes the enemy is just a memory disguised as your voice. 2. Break it down. Turn big dreams into small wins. The brain fears anything that looks too big to begin. MIT research shows the brain rewards starting even before finishing. So begin with 5 minutes, 1 sentence, 1 step, 1 message. Small victories create momentum. Momentum builds identity. Identity fights sabotage. 3. Practice self-compassion. Harshness doesn't build, it paralyzes. Research by Dr. Christine Neff reveals that people who show self-compassion are more resilient, more productive, and more courageous. Because a mind beaten down cannot grow. A mind given kindness unfolds like a flower. And as another old saying goes, mercy given is mercy received. Start by giving it to yourself. 4. Ask better questions. Questions change the mind's direction. The brain follows the questions we feed it. Try asking, what if I can? What if I'm stronger than I think? What if this fear isn't even mine? A questioning mind is a liberated mind. Self-sabotage cannot survive curiosity. 5. Shift from proving yourself to becoming yourself. Maslow placed self-actualization, becoming who you truly are, above all else. Self-sabotage traps you in a cycle of proving. Please like me. Please approve. Please validate me. But the self-actualized person says, I am enough and now I begin. And to change the world, free your mind. First, let me tell you something honest. Even while writing this speech, my inner saboteur whispered, this might not be good enough. Maybe write it later. Maybe you're not ready. But today, I chose not to listen. Because I learned something important. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move, despite it. And there is an old wisdom that says, the one who conquers themselves can conquer the world. If you, listening to me right now, can recognize that small voice inside you, teach it a new language, and take even one step beyond its grip, your entire life will begin to shift. When you break the chains inside, no chain outside can hold you. Thank you. For more, please subscribe channel and like video. Have a miracle days.